So growing up in Queens, seeing hip hop really maturate, and then getting your opportunity, what was it like getting into that?
What up, what up, what up? But you know, it was crazy.
And then even get that, right? Like we in Brooklyn,
but
they showing love.
You know, I'm a New Yorker.
Right.
Like I'm from New York. I eat in New York. I moved through New York. Like this is my town, my city, so I love it. But you know, growing up in Queens, I went to Catholic school. I went to St. Joachim and Ed. And Ed Lover used to pick up his kids every day, and he used to walk through the park, so we used to see Ed Lover. So like that was the introduction. That's when Yo MTV Raps first started. And it's ill because you really got to see those people. Now I know a lot of these kids don't get to see their favorite artists. Like I ran into Run DMC. I ran into LL Cool J. I mean, taking the dollar van, LL Cool J grandmother used to open the door and let us go inside and see the Grammys.
Yeah,
like that was, and I didn't
tough.
know her, but that was giving you inspiration. So for me, it was like hip hop was everything for me. I knew I wanted to be in some type of music, and then you know, seeing the local drug dealers, whether it was Preem or whoever it was, driving up Jamaica Avenue with the dope cars and all that. That's what you wanted. Because back then, they didn't have Bentleys and stuff like that.
Right.
They had 3 Series. They had the 8 Series. They had, you know, stuff like Lexus Coupes. So you seeing that, that's what you wanted. Like that's what I wanted. Now I'm not a kid that needed anything as a kid, but I wanted that.
Right.
Because that's all I seen. Until one day, I'm waiting at the bus stop just like this, and it's cold. It's like 20 degrees outside, and I'm waiting to go to high school, and I see Ernesto pull up in a 3 Series.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo. He's like, what's up? So I run to the you know, the light.
Yep.
And I'm like, yo, what you doing? I'm thinking he's selling drugs, and at this point I'm like, well, maybe if I get in on it, I could get me a 3 Series. He was like, yo, come to my crib after school. So I go to his crib after school. His mother's like, yo, Ernesto's downstairs. I go downstairs. When I walk, all I see is records. Records, plaques, turntables, mixes, this, that. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He was like, I'm a DJ. I'm like, what's your DJ name? He's like, I'm DJ Cool.
Alright, so we're in here. This is, you know, I wanted to get like the whole idea behind the, you know, Whit Mouse Jones, like even the promo video was like a new conversation, right? Like, I know I'm nice at this shit, right? But it's like with anything, you gotta get your reps in. You gotta show people, right?
Correct.
Same thing with being on stage, right? Like people agree with me now when I say I'm the best host in America because they see me on stage. Same shit with this, and I just wanted people to feel comfortable just having genuine conversation. You know what I mean? It's like you get stuck in here. How do you, like you do it like 5 days a week? How do you keep your brain, how do you keep the content fresh? We were talking off camera about like just being able to come up with something off the top of the dome and it be a topic that's engaging for people to care about for 4 hours. How do you do that being in a studio, like being locked into a studio 5 days a week?
I think the most important thing is listening.
Yeah.
You know, shout to Ms. Jones. She told me a long time that you gotta listen, like, cause if we prepare, right? We prepare, you do your homework, you do this, that, and the other. 9 times out of 10, everybody's gonna have the same questions, right? But sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's picking up something that you said and being able to, you know, get in depth with that conversation. And that's what most people don't do. That's what I think the Breakfast Club does so well, other than other interviews, because we listen to people.
Right.
We talk about things other people don't talk about,
right.
Whether it's real estate, mental health,
Yeah.
kids, family, or whatever it may be. We're able to do that.
I was gonna ask you later on, but you brought it up, so I want to ask. Specifically, when you talk about the Breakfast Club, right? I feel like with the Breakfast Club, you guys have reached, and you've probably been there for a while, you've reached kind of what they talked about in Batman, right? You remember, you lived long enough to see yourself become the villain. Hov has said it, right?
Correct. Yeah.
To where you guys have been the best, the #1 in the market, to where, you know, you guys came up in a time where social media itself was kind of still the Wild Wild West. Coming in on that and now maturating to where it is now, where, you know, there's a lot more sensitivities.
Correct.
There's a lot more respect that needs to be shown for marginalized communities. Where you guys have, I don't want to say the term. I don't want to make the term drop the ball. I'll say there's been stances taken or jokes made that were inappropriate. How do y'all withstand that and still come out? Because at least to my knowledge, and everybody might say, "Oh, Mouse, you're caping," but to my knowledge, I haven't seen you guys do something where people are like, "Yo, that's fucked up," and y'all double down on it. Y'all just don't do it no more.
Nah, I mean, there's always a situation and always a time where you do something fucked up that you gotta say, yo, I apologize, my bad.
Right.
I said it wrong. I mean, it's like being in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Like, You got a girl, you might say something that offends her. What do? You be like, fuck you. You be like, oh, my bad, babe,
Right.
I ain't mean it.
Right.
Same thing with the Breakfast Club. You know what I mean? We're at a point where we're trying to help, meaning we're trying to help our community. Like, you think about any radio show that's on radio. I don't think you could talk about any show that has pushed mental health like we have to help people, to push real estate like we have to help people and actually teach people, to push entrepreneurship. Nobody. Because we all good. We all are financially well off, right? The show is doing great. We're syndicated.
Y'all three pretty rich people.
Yeah, we all right. We all right.
Y'all make up a lot of the wealth in New York.
We all right. You know, we syndicated in 130 markets, but that doesn't mean anything. But the fact that, Charlemagne has got a whole generation of people going to therapy and talking about mental health.
Yeah.
The fact that I got a generation of people talking about financial literacy and generational wealth and buying their first crib and teaching them and talking about credit. Yeah. The fact that Angela Yee has, healthy, people doing not only healthy, but being entrepreneurs. Yeah. Like, that's something that you can't fuck with. Yeah. You know what I mean? So even if people call us the villain, oh, you did that interview a long time ago, or y'all did this, or, man, it means
Is
nothing.
there one that sticks out, though? Like, and the only reason I asked that is because where I've been propositioned in the community, right? Where, I've been championed as a fighter, for marginalized community, specifically when it comes to black women and black queer people. It's like there's still things in the back of my mind where I'm like, yo, I know they fuck with me now and I know they love me, but like I wish I didn't say this, or I wish I didn't make people feel this way. To me, what stands out is probably the Janet Mock situation. Like, is that one of the ones that stick out where you're like, how do you really rectify that? Or do you just say, all right, well, we don't do that anymore, and there's probably no getting those people who are upset or offended back on our side? Like, where does...
No, we've had the trans community back on the show. My problem with, and not just the trans community or the gay community, is everybody. I feel like this world is a place where if you don't necessarily agree with somebody, they try to cancel you, right? Yeah. And my whole thing is this: if I don't understand it, why can't I ask you a question, right? Definitely. If something that I don't understand, I don't have to be disrespectful. But if something doesn't make sense to me or I don't understand, why, if I ask you a question, I'm wrong? Right. Right? If it's something about, the trans community and I have a question about, well, how do you feel about this? If I ask that, I'm wrong? Why can't I? The same way if I go to an accountant and I don't know something, I ask. Right. Or the same thing with, if somebody's a Donald Trumper and you ask, why is it wrong? Donald Trumper is hilarious. But it's the truth. Right. Like people were mad at Floyd Mayweather, right? Because he was, he was repping for Trump, or mad at Kodak, right? Yeah. But the reason is, ask why. Right. What is the reason? Right. For Floyd Mayweather, it might be like, well, he gives me tax breaks and I pay too much in taxes. I understand.
Kodak, he gave me a pardon.
He gave me a pardon. Right. I understand.
But he bring him home. He gave Wayne a pardon.
He brought Kodak home. Yeah. So you understand it. So why can't we have you could say, oh, I get it. I don't hate Kodak because of this. He's supposed to like that man. He's supposed to thank that man because that man gave him home. Right. Same thing with Wayne, gave him a pardon. Right. So can you be mad at that? I feel like when we have those questions, people take it as, oh, you asked a question, that's fucked up. You know what it is. No, I should be able to ask a question. And if I can't ask a question, then that's the problem.
When did you realize the Breakfast Club had the power that it had to make people care, to make people feel a way, to possibly, get you canceled? Like, that's a powerful thing. When was that time for you where you realized that power was had?
I think, honestly, is two things happened. I started getting booked all over the country in areas I never even heard of. But it was because people heard me on the Breakfast Club. I started being recognized. So at one time, I'm a New Yorker, so I'm recognized all through New York. Hey, what's up? But now I'll be in a little dirty town in one of these cities, and somebody be like, yo, what up, Envy? Like, damn. Or be somebody that I don't think listens to the Breakfast Club, not black, not your typical listener, and it'd be an older white person, 60 years old. They'd be like, oh, what's up, Envy? I seen you in the Breakfast Club. And you realize how much people fuck with you. Or when it came to me doing a real estate seminar or the car show, and I do a car show and I get 18,000 people. Or we do a real estate seminar and we get 5,000 people. And we really just talking about generational wealth. There's no artist performing, there's no nothing, but people are really tuned into what we're doing. And it makes you say, wow, you have a lot of influence.
Now with that, there's 3 people on the show, 3 personalities to work through.
Correct.
Obviously, when the show first was booked, you were, Charlemagne's talked about this. I'm not sure if he has, but I've heard both of y'all talk about this separately. You were booked as the A mic.
Correct.
Charlamagne as the B, and Ye as the C.
Correct.
Obviously, throughout the time, that's kind of changed. Was that?
Damn, bad, man.
You go-
Phone's supposed to be off, man. It's my assistant calling me.
Look, this how we do with
Damn,
my show.
man.
That's how they do. They come in, they feel
Damn,
so
man.
comfortable.
Damn it,
Niggas
man.
keep their phone on.
Damn it,
I was
man.
in my serious interview mode.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, okay.
No, but obviously that's changed, right? Like the I don't know if on paper the format's changed or whatever, but like in the actual practicality of all, it's changed. Was that something hard for you to release, or are you a team player or by nature? Like,
Well, let me put it in perspective. When I went to Power 105, I was doing 3 to 6, 2 to 6.
PM to 2
p.m. to 6 p.m. I was
Gotcha.
doing afternoons, and I was fine. I was doing well. We were good. They came to me and said, "Do you want to do mornings?" Right? DJ Envy show. I didn't want to do mornings as DJ Envy show because I felt like for people to really want to do it, they have to have an equal share, right? You have to have an equal share. When we started the show, I was the number 8. Like you said, I was the A mic. Charlamagne was B, Ye was C, whatever. But throughout time, everybody takes a lead. And it's like being a point guard on the team. Sometimes I'm gonna shoot.
Yeah.
Sometimes Charlamagne gonna shoot.
Right.
Sometimes Ye's gonna shoot. So one time, yeah, I was the hot mic. I was the dude. Then Ye was the hot mic. And now Charlamagne's the hot mic. You never get jealous because at the end of the day, we all win.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And I think we got that because
Shut your ass up.
I think we got that because we were I always say we were all side chicks, right? We were all side dishes, right? So I was Miss Jones's side dish.
He was
Wendy Williams'
Wendy's,
side dish.
and Ye was over on
Cypher
series.
Sound's
Okay.
side dish.
Okay.
So we never fought for the main mic because we always had somebody
So when
there.
it happened, it's
so when we
natural.
came together, we never had to fight for that mic. We always would compliment each other on whatever we did. That's why the Breakfast Club worked so well because it was like it wasn't like you the main, I'm the main. So now we fighting over who's gonna get this mic. It was not. Cypher Sounds was the leader. Miss Jones was the leader. Wendy Williams was the leader. So now you put us all together, we all know how to compliment each other. Like, you gotta think, it's if I say, yo, Mouse, your beard looks dirty as shit, right?
I would be offended because
I know, I'm just saying it. But if I said that
Mhm.
and it came from me,
Right.
some people are like, ah, ha, 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 funny. Now, if Charlamagne says it,
Yeah.
it's serious, it's more serious.
Yeah.
We might be thinking the same thing, but I'm like, I'm gonna let Charlamagne say it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's gonna catch more.
Right.
It's gonna be viral.
Right.
I think even Kanye said it one time in an interview. He was like, "Yo, Envy, no disrespect, but they gonna want to hear what this man gonna ask me."
Right.
But it's the truth.
Right.
We can have the same questions, but it is what it is, and we all we allow each other to grow. Like
Right.
we all support each other, and it is what it is.
How do you get to the label situation, to even give the opportunity to like a Fab or a Joe or somebody like that? How did that, like, how does that even transition, right? Because I think back in that time, it's hard for people to. I think back then it was still, there wasn't no social media. There wasn't no way to kind of say, oh, well, he did this and he did that. All we seen is we never knew this guy. Now he's running it.
Right. So what we used to do is we used to travel. So what we used to do is we press up a bunch of mixtapes, mix CDs, and we go to every borough, to every African bootlegger, to every mom and pop store, and give them the tapes. You know what I mean? So we downtown Brooklyn, we in Canarsie, we in Coney Island, we in, everywhere that you could think of. And then we started driving. We started going to Philly Greek. We started to go to Atlanta. And then the best thing that happened to me is I went to college.
HBCU, right?
I went to Hampton University in Virginia.
Now that's now I'm trying to understand. I'm a high school dropout. This is not my fight. I'm simply a host.
It's all good.
And all I know is when I go to these places, this is what they tell me.
What they tell you?
Howard University has told me, they said that they are the real HU. They heard I was doing this interview. They said, tell him that Howard University is the real HU. Now you went to Hampton University.
Hampton, that's right.
And y'all say that y'all the real.
We the real HU, but I will say this, right? It's always a fun thing to go back and forth, right? Hampton has the prettiest people in the world. The prettiest campus in the world. No disrespect to Howard, but when Howard is like, in my opinion, it's like the sixth borough. It's like the sixth borough, right? So it's like
So everybody from New York just
you
go
in class here, and then in Howard you in the street here. Like you see a crackhead here, and then you go into class here.
That's nuts.
That's why I didn't go to Howard because I wanted something different than where I was from, and I wound up going to Hampton. Hampton's a beautiful campus. There's water. The only water we had was Jones Beach. That's all we had.
That's so disrespectful.
It is.
There's mad beaches out here.
Coming from Queens.
You got Rockaway. You had Rockaway.
We went to Jones. Rockaway was disgusting.
I went to Jones too.
I went to Jones. So, that was it. So the fact that you seen Virginia Beach and how beautiful it was.
Beautiful.
Just made
what was that like back then? I don't think people understand, like, you know what I mean? Obviously people my age and probably a little bit younger, they might know about it. Their parents might tell them about it, but like people who don't really know.
Right.
Virginia back then
was crazy.
Is almost as integral to hip hop.
But nobody went to Miami. Everybody went to Virginia.
Yeah.
4th of July, Virginia. A Labor Day weekend, Virginia.
White Week, Myrtle Beach is right.
All that. So you gotta think, but you gotta think who represented Virginia at that time. You got Mike Vick.
Okay.
Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Teddy Riley, because he moved the studio
he
down
moved
there.
the studio down there, yep.
Pharrell, Neptunes, Pusha T, Clips, Timberland, Missy. That was Virginia. That 757 area, that was Virginia. So Virginia was on fire. Backstreet, well, I said Backstreet. Blackstreet.
Yeah.
So that was the whole thing. So it was like, you go down there, Virginia was on fire.
Having this position in the Breakfast Club, obviously being, 10 years plus sitting next to someone as polarizing as Charlamagne, right? How many beefs do you catch from people that don't understand that y'all are co-workers? Or is it not a co-work situation? Is that your brother and you catch the beefs willingly?
Well,
pause. That was crazy.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I got you. When it comes to the Breakfast Club, the bad thing about the Breakfast Club is DJ Envy's the one that's outside all the time.
Yes.
Right? I'm in the clubs. I'm at the events. I'm doing this. So you don't see nobody but me.
Right.
So a lot of times when Charlamagne gives people donkey of the day, it might be in a small town that I'm DJing at and they mad. You know what I mean? Or it could be an artist that they see me. So they always approach me. But, like I tell everybody, me and Charlamagne ain't best friends. We don't hang at each other's house on the weekends. But I look at him as somebody that you ain't gonna talk bad about him in front of me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And hopefully he feels the same way.
There's a loyalty.
Right, so if you come at me on some beef shit about him, I'm like, you take that to that man. You be a man about it. And that's how I've always been. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I got into beef because of Charlamagne or squash beef because of Charlamagne. But I'm not gonna let somebody just talk about the nigga dirty. I ain't gonna let nobody talk about you like that dirty. It's just who I am as a person. That's how I was raised.
So let's talk about some of your beefs. Notice I said beefs, so nobody could take this and be like, oh, yo.
Of course.
Watch yourselves. The one that obviously comes to mind is the one with Desus and Mero.
Desus and Mero,
What was that? Because obviously you didn't do, you're not the one to be on world tours and being, doing a whole bunch of interviews. So what was that for the people that didn't understand, right? Like they came on your show, you had an issue with them prior, you still allowed them to come on the show, and then you pressed them.
Yeah, so what happened was me and my wife did, I don't remember what show it was. We did a show, and you definitely check out the book.
Yeah, definitely.
So the thing about me and my wife is what we realize is our relationship is different, right? We've been together 27 years, been married 21. We've been together since I was 16, she was 15. So with us, when we go through stuff, we like to talk about it, right? And the reason we like to talk about it is because when I was dealing with my wife, there was nobody to talk to. I can't go in a barbershop. Like, we go to barbershop, we could talk about the new kicks. We're talking about, your favorite basketball player, NBA player. We're talking about some chick that we see. We could talk about everything, but we never talk about relationship. I could never come to you and be like, yo, Mouse, man, I was talking to my wife, and my wife said she ain't coming in 10 years. From penetration.
Right.
Nigga, you be like, ah! You see what I'm saying?
Not knowing that I'm suffering the same thing.
But you could be suffering the same thing.
Right.
And we don't have those conversations. So we wanted to create something where we can talk about it. So we did on the show, we talk about it. And at that time, me and my wife was dealing with cheating. I cheated on my wife, and we were dealing with that. And we were talking about how we overcame it. And I think one of them said, my wife was like, yeah, I was about to leave or something like that. And I think he said something like, I wasn't gonna leave them DJ Envy checks.
Right.
And it bothered me because a lot of times when you're with a woman or you with somebody, the first thing that somebody says is,
she's a gold digger.
She's a gold digger. She's only there for the money.
Not knowing she's been with you.
She's been with me before I had money, when she had money.
Yeah.
So I took it offensive. And I took it offensive, not only that, is because I don't care if anybody talk about me. Talk about me all day long. But to me, she was an innocent civilian.
Yeah.
So now when you talk about her...
She's also not in the spotlight, right?
Correct. At the time, she wasn't. So now I'm pissed off. I'm like, yo, that's foul. Especially because they were friends to the room. They've been on the Breakfast Club before. They've been on Charlemagne's show. They was somebody, whenever time they did anything, we shouted them out and talked about it. So I figured them they friends to the room. So the fact that they did that really bothered me, right? And I'm the type of person, I'm not gonna go at you on social media. I'm not gonna go at you on the air. I'm gonna see you and I'm gonna say it to your face, right? And then we can handle it whatever which way. Like I tell everybody, I ain't the nicest with my hands, but I ain't a sucker. I'll fight, I'll lose.
How many knockouts you got? You got at least one.
I don't know, but we can talk about that later. But so, when I seen them when I came on the show, I, approached them because I wanted them to know that I want, like, whatever it is, right? So I think I said, yo, good morning, everybody. We got dickhead and pussy in the building.
Now, which one? Because this has been very important to me. I've had arguments, knockdown, dragon arguments with this man right here. Who was dickhead and who was pussy?
I don't know which one was dickhead and which one was pussy. I didn't know. It was probably Jesus. I don't know.
Because Mero he's more like lighter skin, so maybe that's who I thought was pussy. And then you was because he bald, you call him dickhead.
Nah, it didn't really matter. They was both getting it that day. Pause.
Hey, yo.
And when I said it, they didn't know. They were laughing, and I explained to them, and apologize, and they were non-confrontational.
One of them offered to shoot the 5, and you was like, yeah.
Right.
And then nothing happened.
Correct. So it was like that. But it was like after they apologized, everybody joked it off. It was done. So people always ask, well, why did I leave? I left because I have a co-host that's an asshole. You know what I mean?
He was going to drag it.
So he's going to drag it the whole interview. If you know Charlemagne, he's going to drag it. And at that point, it's not funny to me because it's my wife.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Let me step to the next studio. Let them do this interview. And then, it is what it is.
Did you get any heat from, or any pushback from, I guess, the higher-ups? I don't know how to say that.
I mean, well, that's one thing I can say. That I can't say they can't, but the higher-ups don't really fuck with me, Charlemagne and Eve. They know we workers.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? They know that we grind for this.
So they're not like, oh, my goodness.
Nah, if I did something, or Charlemagne does something, or Yee does something, they know they're doing it for the best of whatever it is. So that was it. Interview came out. And then I guess they did their show on Vice, and then they came with, everything, sucking my dick from the back and invite me to the Frank stand and all that. And I just didn't reply because we had the opportunity to speak face to face, and it didn't happen. And my whole thing is, if we face to face and you don't say it, when you say it after, it means nothing to me. And I mean, we seen each other at CC Sabathia's baseball game, and we squashed it out, and it was done. And I wish them brothers the best, and we didn't see anything else until I heard an interview they did with Matt Hoffa, and then they brought it back up.
And now what did that do?
That didn't do nothing. People asked me, I explained to them how I felt, but that didn't do nothing. I mean, it is what it is.
Now, because the next one I want to talk about came out left field, because I think if people look at the Breakfast Club, or if they look at you, they see the family man, they see they see the family man, financial literacy, you getting people houses, things of that nature. They don't even take a second to be like, oh, he came from here, or to think about what you had to survive to get to this point, or the experiences that made you who you was. They see you and think, oh, it's just this. And so a little bit of it even threw me off, because it's like, damn, Envy got smoked like that because the thing with Flex. And it's like, I've always known you to be somebody. Even from like an OG standpoint, I've always known you to be somebody that you don't really get in the mix. You like, all right, whatever, that's over there, I'm gonna go get this money. But the fact that you were so vocal with this situation with Flex, where did that come from?
Like I tell everybody all the time, I don't think me and Flex had a beef. Flex is he's a competitor. He likes to compete. The thing I don't like with him is he used to, in my opinion,
like Old Yeller,
go at DJs all the time, right? Whether it was Clue, or Spin King, or Self, or whoever it was. I just didn't like that. And I didn't like that because, I'm not saying that we gotta be kumbaya, but it's like, there's no reason for it. So he threw shots at me many times, I threw shots back, but he's another one that's what he does. You know what I mean? I just don't like that, because to me, he's a legend. Like, I grew up in Queens listening to the radio like, damn, I hope I get on the radio one day like that.
Right.
And he's been that for a lot of DJs. So it's like, it's to the point where it's like, shit is whack when you do it. Like, we look at you as a legend. We look at you as an OG. But then when you start belittling these DJs and belittling these people, I just have no respect for it. And it's like, and I tell everybody all the time, I could win or lose. It is what it is, but I'm not gonna let you disrespect me or my brother. And Clue's my brother.
Right.
And when I say Clue's my brother, Clue put me into this game.
Yeah.
And he guided me. And when somebody takes a shot at him, take a shot at me. And me and Clue never had a conversation about this. We never talked about this, but that's how brothers are. You talk about my brother, you ain't gotta say, yo, he just talked about you. If somebody talked about your brothers,
You already, ain't no talking,
you know what I mean? But that's how I look at Clue. I look at Clue and my man DJ Mono. Those two are like my brothers. Mono actually taught me how to DJ.
Yeah.
Clue introduced me to the DJing. So for both of them, those are my brothers. So if somebody says something sideways about them, I'm on their neck. Pause.
Yeah, that was
a little crazy.
That is crazy.
That was a little crazy.
What's going
I was about to say on their head, but I tried
Hey,
to
yo, what's going on?
Pause.
Like, I get it. Nah, I see what's going on.
Pause,
You have
pause.
pissed off a community, and now you're trying to show them.
Pause.
My thing with you and Flex, though, it's like, and this could be biased, right? Because everybody knows my issues with Flex and our issues, but I don't see anybody that he's putting on. And I don't see a lot of people from that other station that they really invest in the youth or are investing in putting people on. Where at Power, it looks like you guys are a lot more invested in the youth. Obviously, you have your staples such as you, Angie, Clue, even Self to an extent. But it's like y'all still, you still got Nyla, you still got Steph, you still got First Choice. Like there's so much investment in the youth that I see from people from my generation. Who do you think is gonna be the one that like you put on though? Like the one, or have you already done that? Is there a DJ or a personality that you're like?
See, the difference with me is I don't have a DJ clip. I don't have a DJ coalition. I don't want one. I help.
Why not?
Honest, because honestly, I feel like when you get in a coalition or a DJ crew, it kind of stops you from being able to do certain things. Oh, you're not part of this clique, or we ain't fucking with you. So like you look at, and all these DJs will tell you. If you look at DJ Steele, that's on Sirius. I put him on Sirius. You look at DJ Hollywood, that's on Sirius. I put him on Sirius. If you look at Spin King on Power, I fought for Spin King on Power. Me and Charlamagne both fought for him to make sure he got on there. If you look at Steph Cakes, and not only radio, but ask Steph Cakes, if you ever see Steph Cakes or Ivy Rivera about them buying a house and me walking through them, holding their hands to help them out. Never asked them for a dime because I didn't do it for that. I want to see my people win. Same thing with Spin King. When he bought his crib, trying to hold his hand and make sure he's good. That's what I do. Yeah, it's about giving them game, but it's also about teaching them how to do it. Clue taught me how to do things. So now I'm trying to teach this next generation. And I wouldn't say Flex doesn't help anybody because, he helped Cypher Sounds. He helped Bobby Trends. And there's a couple of people that he does help. Do I think he could help more? Absolutely. But that's that man's prerogative. We from two different eras, two different angles, two different things. Me, I go out trying to help the next person go out. Like, what's the first thing I said to you when we was outside? I'm like, yo, when you ready, call me up and I'm gonna help you.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna help you with your credit. I'm gonna help you with getting a loan. I'm gonna help you with finding a property. I'm gonna help you with getting in that property. I'm gonna help you. I don't want nothing. Nothing. I just want to see my niggas win. You know what I mean? I want to see people that look like me in my neighborhood. Yeah. I want to see people that look like me on the Forbes list.
Right.
You know what I mean? We all gonna pull each other up at the end of the day. And he doesn't. I don't know why, but he does help. He has his clique of DJs that he helps. But when it comes to that, I just do it on another level.
Where did that come from? That unity, that community. Actually, that's what you're doing. You're actually doing community building. Where does that come from? Like, is that from your mother, your father?
It comes from being an only child. See, where most people I did it all on my own. Like, it's funny, I'm an introvert. Like, I don't fuck with a lot of people. I don't go out, and if I do, it's probably one or two people. Even here today, I didn't come with a security. I didn't come with a bunch of people. I came by myself. What's the first thing I called you? I said, yo, can I park my Ferrari in the front?
That's a fact.
And you was like, I don't know if there's a spot. I was like, I'll take an Uber.
Right.
That's me. And that's how I always been.
Angelo took your spot, by the way.
He took my spot. It's all good.
There was a spot.
There was a spot. Yeah, there's a spot. Yeah,
Angelo
took the spot.
put the American call in.
Yeah, it's all good. But but it also came from seeing my dudes from Queens and seeing how fucked up they were. And it's like, damn, how can I teach them? Or about a year ago, somebody stole my car, right? Stole my Rolls Royce, and they were trying to sell it. They tried to sell it back to me, right? I found out who it was, right? And I told them, I sent the message. I said, yo, tell them they could keep the car. Got insurance. I said, but tell them little young niggas, come see me. And they was like, well, why? It was beef? I said, no. I said, I want to teach them niggas how to take that money that they get for selling that car and invest it into a property so they never have to do it again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the main goal. Like, niggas gonna be stealing cars every day, right?
Right.
But what's gonna happen is, and them kids got lucky. They hopped my fence. My dog was just inside. I just took my son out.
Right.
But usually I'm on my property. When I'm on my property, I got my gun on me. I got a huge property. My dog is running the property, and I don't have a gun for me looking for burglars. That bear might hop on my property, and I gotta lay that bear out. You know what I mean? So it was a perfect storm for them. But my whole thing with that is, I want to teach the community how to do it. Like, I hate to see niggas robbing each other and sticking somebody up or running up in somebody's crib because it always ends bad. But if you buy a property, a 3-family house, and rent in New York is, $2,500 a unit, and it's $5,000, $7,500, and your mortgage is $2,500. Now you making $5,000 a month, and you ain't got to do nothing. You see what I'm saying? You take that money and buy another one. Now instead of making $5,000 a month, you're making $10,000 a month, and you ain't have to rob nobody. And that's what I try to teach the youth and teach the people that look like us to do.
Damn, you might be, we might have to call you like Envy Mandela from now.
Nah.
Like, I don't want them to call you DJ Envy no more. Like, you might have to, do like a real like community based, like bigger than just selling homes, because like, I don't think people understand your heart for the community. Like, wanting to see, you know what I mean, nigga? If that was me, you would have stole my Mazda? Yeah, come see me. I want y'all to come see me.
At first you mad, but you also got to understand, we came from an area where either you or your peoples did some foul, grimy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, we always look at that as a lick or a come up. You know what I mean? But somebody's come up is somebody's fuck up. Thank God I'm financially good, so I'm able to be okay. But like, that kid, the next time you run into the wrong house, you might die at 18 or die at 17
to keep
or die
him from
16.
even being in that situation.
So we gotta teach, and I don't do it for recognition. I don't tell most people this, but I do it because I really want to help. Even with the seminars, right? We only started the seminars because there were people that looked like us charging people $10,000 to teach them about real estate. So me and my partner Caesar was like, yo, let's charge people $99 and teach them. And the $99 really only pays for the venue.
Overhead, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how it started. And that's why we started teaching people like that. Like EYO, I don't know if this is the reason, but they came to our seminar first.
Oh, wow.
And seen what was going on. And that's how they really started. I was probably one of their first celebrity guests, but that's how they got their start.
And now look at them.
And I respect them for what
they
they
just had fucking Tyler Perry,
12,000 people.
Harvey, 12,000
what
people in 3 days. Insane. Does that give you any hope? For, like, with when we discuss hip hop and people's outlook on it, there's always typically like a bleakness or like a does that? I think the question that a lot of people have is, what's the future, right? Because we are one of the youngest music genres, and there's a high mortality rate, right? Like, we don't typically get to celebrate our legends the way there is no Rolling Stones for us. Yeah, those guys, our guys is what, 50, 60, and we're losing them.
Right.
Does what you're doing, plus seeing Mano, Jim, and a few other people just really focus on health, does it give you a renewed hope for hip hop, or you have kind of?
It does a little bit, but it's less the health and more the violence, right? And what really bothers me about this is you're seeing more and more people getting shot, more and more people getting robbed, more and more people getting carjacked, more and more people getting people running in niggas' houses, and that's the scary part. Because now you basically saying there's only two ways out. It's robbing niggas, or what happens after that? You die or in jail. So that's what we have to curb. You know what I mean? But I don't know how to curb that. You know what I mean? How does that work? You know what I mean? It's a difficult subject. Police are not doing nothing.
Right.
So it's like, well, what do you do?
And it's funny to hear you say that, because one, obviously your relationship to a retired police officer, your father, but also you got some kickback, for the Makaya Bryant statements. And I'm like, let me give you a space to say what because I don't think you were I don't think you were given a space since then to like elaborate on what you really meant. So then after that, then I'll just ask like, well, what did you mean? Let me ask you that.
So Makaya Bryant, for people that don't know, explain the situation, what happened.
So Makaya Bryant, I believe that was the young lady that was shot by the police officer. while trying to protect somebody else, or like the police officer was trying to protect somebody else?
Okay, yeah. So what happened was, and everything for me is technical, right? So whenever there's a shooting or something happens, I usually call 3 or 4 people, right? 3 or 4 police officers to ask what happened. So, and the reason I never talked about the Makaya Bryant thing is because her family watches The Breakfast Club. And when we talk about it, it's like you're talking about the death of a young lady that her family's, affected. So with that being said, Makaya Bryant was being bullied by some girls, allegedly. I'll say that because I'm not sure. She called the police to get the police to protect her. And this is what I told people, and I know people don't understand. And I asked a bunch of people, when a police officer pulls up, he doesn't know who Makaya Bryant is, who's the assailant, who's the murderer, who's the attacker, who's the father, who's the mother. They come out to assess a situation. When they come out to assess the situation, the officer says, all right, what's going on? He sees them girls fighting. He's saying stop. He sees a young lady pull out a knife and attacking another woman with a knife. He don't know. To that officer, he's thinking that you Makaya Bryant.
He's assessing the threat.
Right? So now all he's thinking of is, I have to eliminate the threat, right? And everybody talking about, oh, they could have shot her in the leg. It's all movie shit. When you're a police officer, they teach you to shoot
Send a mass.
the biggest target. So when he shoots, he hits Makaya Bryant, which is fucked up. Hit the wrong person. Well, he hit the right person that he was trying to save, but he hit the person that actually called the police. People were upset about it. But that officer, white, black, Asian, whatever he was, he thought he was doing the right thing because he was protecting a girl from dying. He didn't know which one was which. So he thought he made the right decision, which at that time was the right decision. Without knowing any names, he was protecting that girl from dying. It was the wrong girl. It was the girl that actually called.
Right.
So he wasn't in the wrong. Then people say, well, he could have pulled out his gun and shot her, and he could have pulled out the stun gun and stunned her.
Right.
How many times have we seen videos of people getting hit with the stun gun and they acting like it's motherfucking McDonald's and they keep eating French fries?
Right.
So at the time, he's trying to eliminate the threat, which he did. People didn't like what I had to say. But there was no charges brought up on that police officer. They didn't even investigate it because what he did was he got there, assessed the situation, and stopped the girl from dying. He probably thought that was Makaya Bryant that called. That called. But there's no way of telling. It's not like video games where as soon as he pulls up, there's a caption that says
threat. Yeah.
And that's what people were upset about. And that's what I was telling you earlier about people making decisions and not being able to have conversations.
Yeah.
So they canceled me for a couple of days. It was what it was. But my whole thing was we need to have those conversations. He told her to put the weapon down. She didn't. Like I told everybody out there, if people, and I said this too, if my daughter had a knife and was going at somebody and a cop shot her to eliminate that other girl from dying, after he said to put that gun down, I would understand. I'm not gonna say I would be happy. I'm not gonna say I would like it, but I would understand. Because if the tables were flipped and my daughter was standing on that car and I seen another girl approaching my daughter with a knife, I would want that police officer to eliminate that threat.
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that, but I mean,
but that's the way you have those conversations.
And that's what I was gonna ask you. So, do you think it's ever gonna get to that point, in
No.
where we're able to have these conversations?
No.
Or at least where that will be the majority, right? Where everybody will understand, like, all right, difference of opinion, let's have conversations.
But we can't. But see, and that's the problem. People are scared to have difference of opinions now. Now it's all of a sudden, I hate you, fuck you, you a cracker, you a this, you a that, you a coon, you a this. Why? Because I have a different of opinion on certain things?
Did that wear on you a bit?
Nah. It doesn't wear on me because I'm an introvert. I'm an only child. So the only thing that matters to me is my family.
Okay.
So the only thing I care about is what my wife says and my 6 kids. Outside of that, it's just white noise. You know what I mean?
Are you adding any more kids? There's so
I'm
many.
done. I'm done.
There's so
I'm
many.
done with 6, man.
There's so many.
But you know what the good thing is?
They're all by the same mother? That's the only good thing.
Well, it is by
There's
the
so
same
many.
mother. But kids keep you young. They keep you active. They give you energy.
Is that
man.
true?
Absolutely.
I have a 15 and a 10-year-old. I find myself without energy a lot.
No. Bro, I have a 20, 18, 9, 8, 5, and a newborn. Bro,
Okay, at that point where they're okay, I can
you
get
see what I'm
that.
saying? So it's not like I got 6 kids, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and but you got to think like this.
How much sleep are you getting? Let's give it a buck. How much sleep are you not getting?
Depends.
You got to be at the
Breakfast Club at 6
6 in the morning.
so I wake up at 4:30.
Because you got to leave. You're at the house by 5.
I'm out the house by 5. Takes me 30 minutes to get to work. 35 minutes to get to work.
You're usually out DJing, or do you only take the weekend gigs?
Now I only do the weekend gigs, but for the first 15 years of my life, I DJ'd every night of the week.
So you were doing this no sleep.
I would sleep at the radio station. I have a bed at the radio station to this day. I have a bed at the station that I lay down, sleep in, everything. I grind this. Like, people can never say, oh no, I slept at the radio station in a sleeping bag, woke up, did my show, took a little bird bath with some wipes under my arms, deodorant, kept it moving. Then after the radio show, before I used to work at the record label, now I gotta go to my office. All we do is we do the real estate, or we do the car show stuff, or whatever else we do on podcast, the book. Then I go home at 4:30, 5 o'clock to catch my kids off the bus. I'm with my kids 5 to 8, whatever we doing, whether it's jumping in the pool, eating, riding bikes, or their activities. 8:30 they go to sleep. 8:30 to 10:30 is me and the wife's time. We watch TV. Usually it's bullshit TV, Bachelor, whatever she wanna fucking watch. I don't care. We watch TV together. We cuddle. 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Usually 10, 11. I'm online looking at cars or houses. 12 o'clock, I'm out.
I gotta ask this, and this is gonna be the one where you might look at me funny. You might be,
Yeah, of
you
course.
my man or not? I mean, it's the only way I know how to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Are you now able to make your wife come?
I'm glad you asked me that question.
I had to. And I was like, Envy my man, so I got this question has to get asked. It's an important question.
So
y'all took over the news, bro.
Nah, it's good though.
That shit was crazy.
It's good though. But so yes, of course.
Gia, I'm just a friend. When you see me, Gia, I'm a family friend. I'm not no weird internet
we laugh
nigga.
about it, but this is what people don't understand, right? Me and my wife been together since 15 and 16.
Yeah.
I was her
We don't
first.
know what the fuck we're doing.
She was her first, right? So 15, 16, I would watch porn, and I would bang, and I thought I was tearing the shit up.
Right.
Honestly, right?
Right.
So pleasing her from penetration, I couldn't.
Okay.
Mouth game, I was good money, pause.
Nah, listen.
Right? So what happened, it took us getting into an argument. I'm thinking I'm tearing it down. And then she was like, nah, you not.
Now, what's this argument? This type of interview I am. I need to know, what was this argument? Because I'm almost 1,000% sure before you tell me, the argument probably had nothing to do with sex.
Nah, it actually did. She was mad because I would get my nut and I'd turn over and go to sleep. So she's sitting there like, nigga.
Give me 1 second. Pause right here. Women that's listening, I don't know what the fuck they want us to do after that. After we finish, what you I'm not going down there. I just was there.
I'm tired. I'm tired. Like, that's how it was. And we got into an argument about it, and that's what she told me. And
in that moment, what's that feeling, right? Because a lot of people laugh, joke, but as a man, like man to man, in that moment,
I was fucked up.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I thought for years I'm knocking it down. I'm spinning. I'm porn. Like flipping. I'm doing one leg up. I'm like, I'm a nigga.
You come home with new shit. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And she said, but now I'm thinking like that. I'm thinking like, damn, was she like, you know what I mean? Was she, yeah, all right, nigga. All right, it's almost over. All right. You know what I mean? Bachelorette comes on in 10 minutes.
Was there ever a time, up until you found out, was there ever a time where you was like, damn, she could have really did a little bit more?
Nah. Cause she was a good actress.
That's
like,
right.
She was acting like I was putting it on. So, I leave them, then you look in the mirror, like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, man, I'm going to go DJ this club. But now you think about it like, damn, I wonder if she laughed when I left now. Like, this nigga.
Rolling her eyes.
Rolling her eyes, yeah. So it really fucked me up.
Yeah.
It really fucked me up. But, it was a good conversation because then I had to actually learn my wife's body. Learn what she likes. Learn what she doesn't like. Because we get so connected to porn,
right.
And you just see that and you be like, I could do that. And you realizing it didn't work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but I would say the reason we talked about it is because if I showed you my DMs, bro,
right.
of how many chicks, how many dudes, yo, I'm glad you and your wife talk about it because I'm going to have that conversation with my man tonight. Or how many dudes, this the weirdest shit. Mad niggas hit me like, yo, how'd you make your wife come? like I can't explain that to you, my nigga.
R2D2, right, left.
Yeah, you mean? Up, down, up, down. But it's I don't know, but it started that conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted with the book.
This book is important, right? This book is important. Real life, real love. It's super important because from what I can see, it's an honest conversation.
Correct.
It's an honest depiction of, y'all life, how you got to this point.
Right.
A huge part, and I mean, I've only dated as a black man, so, lived life as a black man, so I only have these black experiences. A lot of times, black couples don't, once there's some spotlight, it could break apart no matter what it is, no matter how big the infraction, how small. I want to talk about is the art of, not even the art, just redemption, right? How do we get to a point where, your wife has been there with you from the start, been there from the beginning, and then so publicly, the infidelity, transgression comes out. How do you get not only past that, but strengthen the bond and go on to have this book and have these conversations and more kids, and how did that redemption start and take place?
Well, see, the first thing what people got to realize is, I think where most dudes get it fucked up is they're always like, you forgave me, why you keep bringing it up? And that's the wrong tape. And this is for me, and that's the wrong tape, because you don't know how long it's going to take your wife to get over it.
Right.
Or your girl to get over it.
Right.
Because you're supposed to be her best friend.
Right.
Y'all supposed to be entwined. So now you lose all that trust. That trust just don't come back tomorrow. Like, all right, I forgive you, I trust you again. It don't work like that. Every time you go out, she probably thinking, damn, is this nigga really going to work or is he fucking a bitch? Every time you go to a club, is this nigga DJing or is he fucking a bitch? Every time he don't answer his phone for 30 minutes, it's like, is this nigga getting his dick sucked? So it's like you have to get that trust back. And that's through time. That's through a lot of the things that we necessarily don't want. That's that, you driving, let me ask you a question. It's the worst thing ever, because that question is just a long thing. And a lot of women, everything is detailed. So they want to know every last detail. But if you want it to work, you're going to go through it.
Yeah.
And, we're at a spot where it made our relationship stronger, because now we're able to talk about things we weren't able to talk about before. We're able to do things we weren't doing before. And that just strengthened our relationship. So, it didn't take a month. It didn't take 6 months. It didn't take a year. It took a long time to gain that trust back. But now we're in a part in our relationship where everything is great. Like I tell everybody all the time, they be like, oh, would you ever cheat? I'm like, never in a million years. I would never. First of all, I don't want to. And second of all, I would never want to fuck up my trust with my queen and my wife and my best friend again. I wouldn't fuck a bitch with your dick. I'm not even nowhere near it.
Penis have to come
I'm
to this.
just saying. It's not
This
yours.
the Breakfast Club shit they be talking about now.
You right.
Now, I'm not a member of the show. Leave my penis out of this.
You right.
I don't even like you attaching cheating to me.
Nah,
Black
right.
men don't cheat.
You right.
You fucked this up.
I was a boy back then. I'm a man now. I don't cheat now.
No, we need to do that 23andMe test.
23andMe test.
That was that white. I want to ask you before I let you out of here.
Yes, sir.
What have you learned, right? Because you still learn. You guys, you one of my OGs, and I believe that there's gonna be so many more career moves after this, or during this, right? I don't even think this thing has to end, right? But thus far, from the time you started, from the day you walked in the Clues spot and seeing all of the DJ records to standing here right now with Coachella, financial literacy courses, the house selling, how many people you help, Breakfast Club, the book, the podcast, all these deals. What have you learned? What's been the resounding thing Rashawn has learned this whole time?
The main thing I've learned is staying consistent and always reinventing yourself. Right? You got to think about it like this. I've been doing this since I was 16. And no disrespect to anybody out there. I've been just as hot since I was 16, 17 years old to where I'm at now. But you got to learn how to pivot. You got to learn how to listen. You got to learn how to see what's hot. One time I was a mixtape DJ.
Yeah. What's your favorite mixtape? What's your favorite DJ Envy mixtape?
The favorite mixtape of all time is the Rockefeller mixtape. Favorite one, and I did it, by the way. The best mixtape ever was mine, the Rockefeller mixtape.
Now that's what I was talking about. What is your DJ Envy favorite mixtape?
The Rockefeller mixtape.
All right, just making sure.
With hosted by Dame Dash and the Beanie Siegel was going.
That was crazy.
Yes.
That was crazy.
So, so for me, it's I went from mixtapes to DJing on radio.
Yeah.
Right? I seen where mixtapes were going. Started DJing on radio. When I started DJing on radio, I'm like, there's too many DJs. Let me learn how to be a personality. Started learning how to board.
What was that right there? How? Because I don't think a lot of people, I think people go on the radio sometimes as themselves, or go on the radio as this fluffed up person. What was the point where you said, I have to be a personality.
Right. So I was DJing and I looked at Angie Martinez. I looked at Ed Lover. I looked at Flex. I looked at Fat Man Scoop at the time. And I'm like, they're doing something that I'm doing differently. Yeah, I could spin records all day, but how do I take it to another level? So I started learning how to do radio. Shout to Tracy Clarity. I started doing breaks, and she would come in there and be like, "You're doing this wrong." To the point where I was like, "Damn, I'm too much of a nigga. I'm too much of a Queens nigga. Maybe I need to take classes, etiquette classes, to speak proper." And she was like, "No. I want you for you, your authentic you. I want you to talk the way you talk because you're a New Yorker. But what I'm gonna teach you how to do is how to do it on radio." So she started teaching me how to tease, pause, like being like, "Yo, in 7 minutes we got tickets to Summer Jam.
Yeah.
Keep it locked."
Yeah.
Oh, that keeps people holding on. Oh, in 3 minutes. Oh, you wanted to hear the new Jay-Z, the new whole record? That's coming up in 3 minutes. Oh, that keeps people. Oh, how to get people to dial in, how to get people to stay there. So I learned that part of it. Then when I hooked up with Miss Jones, she taught me how to tease, how to do morning radio, how to pull things out of people, how to make sure if you're saying, you know, the sky is red, I can't say the sky is red because it's not gonna create any controversy. I have to say the sky is blue.
Even if you don't particularly
At
believe
times,
it.
correct.
Mm.
And
So
that's what I
being
was
a
learning.
personality is a bit of a caricature of yourself?
It can be to a point, but it's also being devil's advocate on things.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So if it's like Makaya Bryant, everybody looked at this way. Wipe my eyes clean and not think about what everybody says, and now look at it and see what I see. Oh, if you look at it this way, this might be the correct way. Well, let's talk about it and discuss. Same thing with anything that we do on the Breakfast Club. Swipe our eyes. Let's look at it a different way. Does that make sense? Or I'm bugging. I could be wrong. I could be right. But it's just the conversations that people have, and we should be able to have those conversations.
All right, so listen, we've had you here. We feel like all day. I appreciate you
Nah, it's
pulling
all
up,
good,
fucking
man.
with
Thanks
me.
for having me, man.
Hopefully you felt safe and you know
Nah,
it wasn't no.
I'm always good. But see, like even with you, right? I met you through Charlamagne.
Yep.
Charlamagne plugged this, right? And I tried to link you up with the mayor of
Marty,
Atlantic City. The reason I did this because I wanted to see you win.
That's a fact.
I never said, "Yo, Marty, if y'all booking him or y'all get him, I need PC." I don't care.
Right.
The fact that you got that connection and whatever happens, or the fact that you say, "Yo, E, I need you." What did I say? All right, Tuesday, 11 o'clock.
That's a fact.
All right, done. Then you called me yesterday. You thought I was gonna flake on you.
I thought you was gonna flake.
You was like, "Son, you
Nah, cause you know usually I'm like not even I thought you was gonna flake. You know I respect my position in this, but I understand that like kind of like you said earlier. I understand that playing my position is I'm the big dog around my peers. You're not my peer right now. You're my OG, and so it's like in your head you might say, "Yeah, I got mouse. I got a little bro. I'm gonna hold it down." But life happens. You talking about the kids, so I'm just like, let me just make sure.
nah."
And I'm getting to that point where I'm getting comfortable doing that because before it'd be like, nah, nigga, I look. I mean, everybody got to. I don't believe in confidence, right? Like that's something I be having this. I had this argument last week. Like I don't believe in confidence. I'm just not a confident person. I believe in the truth, right? If I say I'm the best host in America, I could prove it to you. We could go to every city, you DJ, I host, and I'm gonna show you why I'm the best host in America. I'm gonna show you why every city I touch, they all have the same response. Like, what? We didn't know this was possible. 4 hours, this nigga, no performance, just him? That's why, right? I can show you that. I to this day, I've never said I'm the best interviewer. I'm not the best podcast. I got work to do. I got work to put in. But I know once I do it, I'm gonna be there. So until that point, I gotta operate as such. I gotta operate as the nigga that's putting in the work. And as the nigga that's putting in the work, I gotta get rid of the confidence not the confidence. You gotta get rid of that machismo shit that'd be like, if Envy don't, nah, nigga. First of all, this shit involved. I got this nigga here, these niggas. Yo, Envy, you good, right? You still good? I bet everything gonna be taken care of when you get here. Like a lot of niggas do that shit, and they won't put that. One, they got that trumped up ego and they got that confidence and don't have no work ethic to put behind it. There's not a nigga that's gonna outwork me. And if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm gonna figure it out. You see, all right, we're talking over here. Yo, you gotta come this way. Now, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. My director not even here. I'm like, yo, we gotta get this, but I
That's
get
how it
this.
should be.
You know what I mean? Like, so.
But see, I always work like I'm still 16. Like you said, yo, E, interviews at 11. I was outside at 10:30.
You was here at 10:30. I'm in the Uber like, nah, ain't no way he here already.
I'm here at
I thought
10:30.
you was, no lie for me, I thought you was lying. So I called him. I said, yo, Ken, he outside? I was like, damn, he outside. I'm still on Myrtle.
See, but that's how I am because that's the way I'm raised. You know what I mean? It's same thing with when I'm doing interviews with me and my wife. I was there 30 minutes early. They were like, "You here on time?" Like, what am I supposed to be here?
I'm telling you, that's not. The only people I know that's punctual, and I'm not just saying it because it's y'all. You, that might be the only two. And maybe that's because y'all interview and y'all do this for a living, so y'all know that. Ken, how many times we been sitting, you can put the camera on, Ken. How many times we been sitting here waiting for motherfuckers? Like, it'd be like, yeah, he coming, whether it's guys next door, whether it's this, we be sitting here just looking at each other like.
And that's, the funny thing is, me and my wife, we don't argue, right? But if we do, the only thing we
About
argue
time.
with is about time.
I'm a late motherfucker.
See, my wife.
In real life, I'm late. Like, if you tell me, that nigga tell you, Zach could tell you, I'm a late motherfucker. Like, his birthday, it was his birthday. I'm like, bro, I'm on my way. Niggas texting me like, yo, I'm coming. I'm gonna be there. I got there, but when it come to work, I'll be here. Trap karaoke, I'm in the city the day before. I'm at the venue. I'm in the venue like.
See, I'm different. See, with my wife, if we had to be here at 11, I'm telling her 10.
Oh, she's like.
But the only problem with that is, I gotta be dressed like it's 10. Because if she don't see me dressed, like,
she gonna think you
lying.
lying.
So at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting there dressed with a fucking tux on, like, come on, yo. Come on, yo. But that's what it is. But I appreciate you for having me, bro.
I appreciate you. Before you out of here.
Thank you.
Kim, this is camera right here. So I just want you to look at your camera. What we do here is at the end of every conversation, I give the opportunity to you to shout out your upcomers, whoever you got your eye on, you want to just show love. 'Cause that's a part of the show, because I wouldn't be here without somebody else advocating for me and supporting. So I give you that same opportunity to do that for somebody else. So.
All right. Yo, what up? It's DJ M. Yo, first of all, I want to say some of the people that's coming up, I love Ivy Rivera, man.
Love Ivy.
I love Ivy. Ivy's doing her damn thing. I love Steph Cakes. I love Nyla. Of course, that's the home team, but I just love the work that they putting in. When it comes to artists and rappers, I love Detroit. Everybody in Detroit, from Babyface Ray to Sada Baby to Icewear Vezzo, that whole Detroit clique, they show me so much love. So look out for Detroit. Look out for those people I tell you. There's someone trying to think what other DJs is out there. I'm trying to think. Shout to, what's the nigga name, man?
True Blends.
True Blends?
Yeah, that's my guy.
That's your guy?
I was trying.
True Blends ain't new, nigga.
He not new, but he not on everybody's
I've been DJing with
radar.
True Blends for years. He gets busy. I like True Blends. True Blends, if you ain't got your shit together, you fucking up. You come in behind him and you be upset.
True Blends will embarrass you.
Yeah, he'll embarrass you.
True Blends
will embarrass you.
I went to the party. We used to do this party called Dope Barbecue, right? So since I've been on tour, I'm not home on the weekend, so I can't do it. So they did it on a Sunday, this past Sunday. So I go, and everybody like, Mouse, you know, I'm like, nah, I'm good. True is up there. True DJ, he's getting busy. His laptop overheats. So I look at him, I say, nigga, that's a rookie move. I'm yelling at him, right? We laughing and joking. As soon as that motherfucker came back on, it's like it never stopped. He told me the mic. He said, yo, Mouse, bring it in how we used to bring it in. Pause. I'm like, oh, it's lit. True Blends is a monster.
True Blends but see, the funny thing with me and True, right, when we rock with each other, and this is just some OG DJ shit. So I only DJ an hour, right?
That's it.
Right? And I probably was the first person to start this. I make them niggas pay me per hour.
And I'm not mad at it.
So if you gotta pay me $8,000, pay me $8,000 an hour, right? It is what it is. So when I DJ with True, I rock an hour. So usually when I rock an hour, I'm hitting the home run records.
Yeah.
Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. I'm home run. Right? So that one day I rock, right? I'm rocking. I rock for like an hour and a half. And I did one of these. Challenge! That nigga True said, all right.
Yeah.
That nigga got busy with this. I fuck with True Blends.
Yeah,
man.
love True Blends,
man.
Yo, appreciate you again. You know, hopefully, you know, y'all fighting for me behind the doors. Get me over there, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna put the heat on y'all, but you know, if y'all do it, appreciate it. If not, I'm gonna go to Hot 97 and talk bad about y'all.
It's all good. They do it anyway. Love you to death.
Appreciate you, bro.